Hello again and welcome to Lesson 27, where we will be writing words that use the sound O when it is heard at the end of a word. And here you can see our strategy for remembering the different spelling choices for long vowel sounds. And our first word is bow. We can hear B and we can hear O. And we have a picture of a bow. Which letters will we need? I can hear B, so I write the letter B. And then I write O, W. If I hear O at the end of a word. We will be exploring a lot of different words, but right now they will all rhyme with bow. Next word, low. O. I can hear O, I write the letter L. I can hear O at the end, I write O, W. And our next word is mow. When you mow the lawn, because the grass is getting too long. I can hear I write the letter M and O at the end of the word, O, W. Followed by row. And it's exactly the same word if we go to the cinema and we pick a row to sit in. I can hear at the beginning. I write the letter R. O at the end of the word, O, W. And how about show? Sh at the beginning, I write S-H. O at the end, I write O-W. Just two sounds in show, but we write 4 letters. Next word is slow. S-L-O. We have a consonant blend at the beginning. I can hear S. I write the letter S. L. I write an L. O at the end of the word. I write O-W. And going back to the picture we saw right at the beginning, snow. I can hear S, I write an S, N, I write an N, O, I write O-W. And the last word is stow, when we put something away in a safe place that we'll probably look at a while later. Stow. I write an S, T, I write a T, O, I write O-W, and then I go back to cross the T. And with all these words that rhyme, how about I can sing a rhyming song, a rhyming song, a rhyming song. I can sing a rhyming song of words that rhyme with bow, low, mow, row, show, slow, snow, stow. Well done, you. The next word we have is grow. But we have an apple before we write it. That grows as it gets bigger on the tree, ready for us to eat it. G-R-O. We will be exploring more consonant blends. G, I write a G, I write an R, O at the end, I write O-W. Glow. G, I write a G, O, I write an L, O at the end, O-W, and then we have blow. Only one letter different when we're spelling. Next word, my teeth are at the back of my bottom lip. Flow. F, I write an F. O, I write an L. O, I write O-W. And the last word we have is crow. And this will be a C for the K you hear, because it's part of a consonant blend. Cr is C-R-O-W. Now, written like this, it's a bird. But this particular crow is on the top of a building, looking down along Crow Road. And we have it written here. Great Western Road, we take a turning and we can go along Crow Road. How do we know that this is the name of the road? Because it has a capital letter at the beginning. This is the bird because it doesn't. And there is another word, thinking about a map of Glasgow, that we need to think about, and that is Glasgow. How many syllables? Glasgow. G, U, A. And you're quite right, it does sound like Z, but we write an S. And then G, O. Now, Glasgow can be said in all sorts of different ways, so we are concentrating on spelling it. And that may mean that you say it in a slightly different way. Let's think about the letters we need. Glasgow, name of a city, we need a capital G. Then we can hear U, so we write an L. Then we hear A, so we have an A, and that Z-ish sound, we write an S before the last syllable where we have G-O-W, Glasgow. There's another way of remembering it too. You think about your gran, and we have a first sound spelling phrase that I learned a long time ago when I first came to live here. Gran, or you can say granny if you prefer, so we write the letter G. Likes, so we write an L, a small glass of water. If your granny prefers something else, Then, as long as it begins with a W, you can put that at the end instead of water. And here is our first sound spelling phrase. Gran, we write a G. Likes, we write an L. We write an A. Small, we write an S. Glass, we write a G. Of, we write an O. Water, we write a W. More words with O at the end. And our first word is elbow. And you can see his elbows sticking out because he has his arms bent. Elbow. How many syllables? Elbow. E-l-b-o. So let's get writing. I need the letter E. I need an L. I need a B. And the O at the end. O-W. Our next word uses exactly the same letters, but in a different order. We can see that his elbows are below his shoulders. And no, don't worry, we're not writing shoulder, we are writing below. Below. B-E-L-O. B, I write a B. E, I write an E. It's an end of syllable choice. And our next word, well, if this person was standing in the sunshine, you might see a shadow. Shadow. Sh-a-d-o. Sh. I need S-H. I need an A. D, I need a D. O, I need O-W. Next word. And I think you probably worked that out from the picture. Window. Window. W-I-N-D-O. Win. W-I-N. Do. D-O-W. Window. Swallow. Now that can be a bird too, but it's more often something we do when we take a drink and swallow. And we hear swallow. S-w-o. And a reminder, often when we hear O after a W, we write the letter A and then O. But this is a word where the consonant that we hear, at the beginning of low, is written twice. Once to keep the short vowel sound short, and once so that we know which sound to say. Let's get writing. S is S, W is W, and that O sound we hear written with an A. a double L, and then O-W. Now, I have known people I've been teaching use different strategies, from swallow to swallow. You decide on yours. And we have a hedgehog and a baby hedgehog as a reminder for the next word. But we need to see them in action for the word follow. And we start with my teeth at the back of my bottom lip. Follow. O is what we can hear in the first syllable. O in the second. When we come to write it, follow. It again has a double L in the middle. One to keep the short vowel short, one to tell us what sound to say. And then tomorrow. To-mo-row. Two. And it does sound as if we're going to write the spelling for a double O. But think of it as the word to, where we have a first sound spelling phrase. To open. Now morrow. M-o-r-o. To, we think about to open. Morrow. And we have that double R in the middle. Tomorrow. We are now introducing a word where you can't hear the sound for one of the letters that we are going to be writing. And our word is know. When you know something, we can hear N-O. We can't hear the sound we need to remember the very first letter. But if we said know, that helps us. This K is written with a K, like in the word knee, that I know many people would say knee to remind themselves. K is K. N is N-O-O-W because it's at the end of the word. This will lead us into known. I have known that all along. Known. What do we need to remember at the beginning? So let's pretend we can hear it. Known. K-n-o-n. So, I have known that makes it look as if O-W is in the middle of the word, and you're quite right. But we don't change the spelling of O because it all comes from this starter word where the O-W is at the end. So, known or known. We're saying it so we can hear that first sound, and no, it starts with a K. N-O-W-N. Known. And that leads us into a word where we add the prefix un. You might know it from unkind. Kind is a word where you can hear that you need the letter K. But unknown, and that's our second syllable, you can't. Unknown, till you get the hang of it and build up your muscle memory for this word. Is U, N is N. And remember that K, N is N, O-O-W, N is N. Unknown. And the last word to think about all the things that we know is said in a slightly different way, but it still uses the same starter word, know. Knowledge. Knowledge tends to be how we say it. But you can see the lines are longer. We're going to have a few more sounds as we explore it. K at the beginning that we don't hear when we say it. N, O, no. And then ledge, knowledge. L, edge. And this takes the spelling from one-syllable words with a short vowel sound. And I think that's probably because knowledge is like a word sum. I stow everything I know on a ledge in my brain, ready for me to go back to use it any time I like. Know, K-N-O-W, ledge has got D-G-E at the end. And we say it as knowledge. And one more thing to add that also has a little bit of sparkle to introduce another silent letter. We're going to be thinking about two words that when I was younger really used to confuse me. Our first word is come. Like come here. Come and join me. Welcome. Is what you hear. But it isn't how we spell it. The sound when we spell it is replaced with O. Comb. K is C because it's followed by an O. M-E. We have an O consonant E spelling at the end. Come is spelt comb. And why did it confuse me? Yeah, because that's what we say when we're going to comb our hair. So, how do we remember it? We call it a comb, but we don't spell it as comb. The comb that we use for our hair is, like many of the words in the English language, a word that has its root in another language. When I looked it up, they even mentioned Vikings. So the spelling language for this word, k-o-m, and another sound that we can't hear when we say the word comb, but we need to remember to write it. B. Comb that we use on our hair is written like comb. K is C, it's followed by an O, and then a B. Comb. We write it as comb. Or at least I did when I was younger, because come and comb really used to confuse me. You can choose whichever strategy you prefer for remembering the words. Thank you for joining me, and well done.